Ladies and gentlemen, on Cherie's World, we got a treat today. We have a polyamorous family in the house. The Roquemores are here. They are going to educate us and give us the scoop on what it's like to have 12 people under one roof. Talk about family matters. Here we go today. Thank you for being here. Please introduce yourselves.
I'm Leanne. I'm wife number 2.
I am Angelica. I'm wife number 1, and I'm 42 years old.
I'm Jermaine, and I'm husband number 1 and only husband. And I'm going to speak for Mary Cruz, who is wife number 3. She'll be with us shortly.
Wife number 3. So, okay, bruh, let's just get straight down to it. You have 3 beautiful wives.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Courtney and I were actually talking about relationships before you guys got on, right?
Right.
We quarantine. How you handling life?
I got a smorgasbord every day. Every day. It's tough. We got a hell of a set of family. We got 6 boys at home and 2 girls, and I got to tell you, they test us. But,
3 turtles and a Great Dane.
Oh, 3 turtles and a Great Dane. So.
Wow.
And a snake, a python.
Those are the kids' pets.
No, those are our kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also have 2 pigs, but they're not here. They're visiting grandpa and grandpa too. So.
Are you serious? 2 pigs. I love it. So what, do you guys all live in the same house, or do you guys?
Yes.
Wow. Because, okay, you have to excuse my ignorance. I watch those TV shows with my mom, Sister Wives, and I believe moved into their different homes, but the husband wants them to be all in the same house, and some of them kind of want their space or whatever. Courtney and I were just talking about that. I am in a relationship, long-term relationship. We do have our own homes.
Oh, wow.
Space.
There you go. There you go.
And Courtney is stuck. I shouldn't say stuck, but he's stuck with his wife during quarantine. And I was just telling Courtney, I don't think I'd be able to breathe. After like 2 days, I got to go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Everyone's having their challenges, and sadly enough, in this world right now, the one thing I keep seeing popping up in the news feeds is domestic violence has gone up. That child abuse, and I'm like, how are you gonna be married to or with somebody and you can't stand being with them for 2 months?
Or divorce. I spoke to a paralegal yesterday who told me that they got 8 retainers this week.
Oh my gosh.
That's sad. Very sad. For me, I don't want to fight you or anything, but I'm one of those people who live in my thoughts, and I'm kind of creative.
Yeah.
So if somebody's talking to me the whole time, I can't breathe because I'm thinking about other stuff. How do you guys handle that?
It's divided up pretty evenly. We all know each other's boundaries, and with that, she has her time, me and her have our time, and me and Mary Cruz have our time. And fortunately, the way our schedules are set up now, we had to make some changes with the whole quarantine bit. They're working from home. So I've had to convert my video game session to a complete office. I mean, I had a literally 3-monitor gaming setup, and it turned into an office, with printers and this and that and meetings and Zoom meetings all day. So it's like I'm dragging kids by their mouth. They're over here working, that's the only difference. But it works because we have communication, We've had our times. Don't think we're perfect. I'm not going to sit here and lie in front of the world. I've done custom out more than once. But it doesn't go no further than that. Likewise. I'm not going to be, throwing them out the house. I threw one in the pool the other day, and she was just pissed.
She doesn't know how to swim.
Don't be telling my secret.
That could be a problem.
It really got in her feelings, and I'm just like, it's time for you to take a dive. She's like, you throw me. Of course, I went in after her, but I just wanted to let her know, that water is finicky.
It's real. Okay, so no, go ahead, Courtney.
No, I was going to, Jermaine, do you want me to keep that part of the show, or do you want me to take that out?
That's fine. I ain't killing them. That's fine.
Okay, all right.
I was going to say, because he edits my mouth all the time.
But your wife number.
Hi.
Hey.
That face though. Oh, that face though. He's like, whoa.
Well, so just to let you know that you guys are kind of a surprise to Courtney.
Okay.
He is the producer of the show, and I'm supposed to talk everything over with him.
Okay.
I have a great sense of humor.
I appreciate that.
And he's very shy, and yes, he's shy. He looks cool, but he's one of those cool looking nerds.
Oh, right.
Gotcha.
I kind of blindsided him, and he was like, "Are you serious?" And I say, "Yeah, they cool as hell."
Yeah.
I just want to know, what did wife number one think about when Jermaine said, let's bring in wife number two? And then what did wife number two think about when Jermaine said, let's bring in wife number three?
Wait a minute. How do we know that it was his idea?
Oh, that's a good point.
That's a good point. But
Yeah.
so like I always like to start off with the fact that she was not always wife number two. So there have been others before her. So a lot of people think that, oh, I would say she came around in what, 2001, and he and I have been together since 97. So I would say in 98-ish, 99 is when it all started. So there were other people that didn't fit the position, I guess you could say.
They didn't make the cut.
Right, there you go.
Personality clashes.
Okay, so I have a question, if you're okay with me asking you. Are you bisexual?
Trisexual. We'll try anything.
I love her.
So who's trisexual? Just you or everybody's trisexual?
I mean, we all try.
Oh, okay.
Sexually.
Go ahead,
I would say that, I mean, yeah, maybe.
Well, you know, for me, and I'm going to just speak for myself, is that I guess, yes, you could say that I am. There are people that I have been attracted to and relationship with, but there have been other people who are like, hey, want to spit game, I guess you could say. And I'm like, you're just not my type.
You're not interested, but within your relationship, ladies, do you guys have a sexual relationship?
I would say that, well, I would say from Jermaine's point of view, yes. You know, he feels that, like, you know, for us all to be intimate, you know, once in a while, we'll all do it together. For me to break it down, like, I wouldn't say, Angelica, let's me and you just go to the room. It's not
Okay.
like I'm not, it's not that, oh, I don't think she's pretty, this and that, but I don't feel that. It's more like family, I guess you can say, and
Our intimate are with Jermaine.
right, there you go.
Never individual.
Right,
Well,
right,
I'm asking because that's what the world really wants to know.
right.
Okay. So now that we got that out of the way, and you said that there's like a schedule thing that happens, right? So ladies, do you each have your own rooms? Or
Yes. It's easier that way, just like scheduling. Like, I used to work the craziest schedules, not come home till 3 a.m. You know, I had 4 boys, like, literally 21 months apart. And so, like, opposed to her, she had kids a little bit further apart. So it just kind of gave everybody a little bit of their quiet time, a little bit of their space, and it just kind of worked out.
Women need our space. We got stuff
Don't get
too.
me wrong, I enjoy having a good night's sleep, because when he's in the room, I just don't. We're not sleeping. I'm sorry, or I'm not even sorry, but we're just not.
Well, we used to, before we had, like, when Leanne came in the picture, Jermaine and I had our oldest daughter. So when the kids were younger, for the purpose of cost effectiveness, I mean, why are you going to have all these kids in separate rooms when they're all still in, like, you know, cribs or toddler beds? So initially, yes. And then I would say probably, Yeah, so let's see, Hane was probably about 5. So probably about 5, 6 years into the relationship, the kids started getting older. Our daughter, she needed, she's 5, 6, years old, wants her own room, and she's got brothers, and, they're crawling, doing everything else. So at that point we separated, and, it's good because yes, we do need our space. You do need your, okay, I need to focus. I need to my little bubble.
Yeah. Okay. So now what happened? How did you two ladies feel about bringing a third lady in? Whose idea was that?
So I will speak on this a little bit. So even when me and Jermaine, after we got together, like, he'd bring somebody in and I would just be like, no, Jermaine, like, that's just, it's not gonna fit us. And I pretty much would like make a decision for that, whether he'd be mad at me in the end or not. Then something would happen and he'd be like, yeah, Leanne, like, you're right. And so for me, like, when she came around, I feel like it was a transition for everybody. Like, I was going through my own transition. I had my own health issues going on. And I mean, she just came in, she was friendly, like, she helped out with the boys. The boys really liked her, which is huge because we didn't want to bring anybody in that our kids couldn't get along with. And I think ultimately that kind of like made my decision because, she wasn't dramatic like some of these women were. And, for her to get along with the boys and for me to say, okay, like, just step back, Leanne, and just let her like get to know the boys. Like, one time I was at work and she and Jermaine took our 4 boys to lunch and I had like a security issue and I was like, I should be there, but then I kind of just let it go. And for me, it was easier for me to let it go with her. Something about her really just kind of fit. And so like Angelica, she usually just kind of sits back and stuff and yay or nay. But I was like, okay, I really, because Jermaine came to me and he was just like, this is like the ultimate decision, Leanne. What do you think? If I would have said no, he probably just wouldn't have gone with her.
I was to your question itself. It was a discussion that we had.
Right.
We talked about it because of the fact that, he was working about an hour and a half away, and the kids were younger. And at the end of the day, it's always just been it's been an open relationship. Both ways.
Right.
So, both ways. So the thing is that, again, you look at all of your statistics, and at the end of the day, why did you divorce? Well, he was cheating. Well, she was cheating and everything. So we could continue to deal with that over and over again because initially, yes, Jermaine and I in the 97, that was a big issue because I'm sorry, small town farm girl, and hey, I want my husband, I want my white picket fence. But at the end of the day, that's not life, and it's not reality. I listen now, and I have people that I work with are, oh, he cheated, and da 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 da. And then I listen to people judge, like, why would she take him back? And it's like, well, I'm not dealing with that. So
right. So you're a realist. You're the realist, and you seem to be rational instead of emotional. Am I right?
Well, I can be emotional.
Well, she can be emotional.
I think all women can.
Emotional because at the end of the day, I'm still a person. So regardless of, there's always, as a person, like initially, you always question yourself. Why am I not enough? What am I not doing that's not making me enough for him?
So you did have those feelings?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
That's natural, though. A lot of people always look at that as a, oh, well, hell no. There ain't no way I can do this, do that.
I didn't know. It could have been her idea. She could have been like, you know what? I want some of this weight taken off my shoulders.
Believe what I tell you, naturally nowadays, there are more people.
So when somebody cheats on them, they said, why? What did I do wrong? What did I not have that she or he has? So so again, naturally it is a question. So I did spend some time going, okay, what does she do differently than I do? So, you know, you kind of sit back and say, but then it's all about your own self. Like, you know what? I'm a damn good wife. I'm good at everything I do. I'm a good mother. I am a good employee. I'm a good sister, mother, whatever, aunt, business owner, whatever you want, you know, because only I can make myself better or put myself at that level.
Absolutely. Okay, so you had a discussion and Mary Cruz joins the family. I'm sorry, Courtney. I swear to God, I'm gonna let you speak. I'm just trying to get these pieces
I'm
in
learning.
my own.
I'm learning. Keep going.
We got time. So, and this don't have to be the only podcast. If y'all want to hit us back, we love you. We love both of y'all.
We love you too, and I'm so damn nosy.
Oh, it's cool.
I want to put myself in the women's positions. I really want to understand. I don't want to judge. I want to get it.
Absolutely.
So, Leanne, you're the bulldog, right? And you're the most aggressive one.
Yes.
Mary Cruz, have you ever been in a relationship like this before? Like, what was your first thoughts when, I mean, I don't even know. Did Jermaine approach you about this? Like, how does that happen? How does that work?
No, this has never been something I had planned or something that I thought in. I was married before meeting Jermaine. I was in a monogamous relationship. So I was married for 12 years before coming into this relationship. And I was dating after I was divorced. Men. So I met Jermaine, and he introduced me to this life and the family. And that was pretty much it from there.
That's all it took.
And you were open and just, I don't know. If a man approached me and said, "Hey, I got 2 wives, but I'm interested in you," I'd be like, "Bro, you come with issues." I don't know.
Immediately, no.
Yeah.
It wasn't like here's my family. I have 2 other wives. It wasn't that way.
Like a gradual. It was like a gradual process. Like she came in, she would visit, she would come to get to know us.
Well, when I met Jermaine, it took him a few days before he told me I have 2 other wives.
I had to make sure she wasn't crazy like anyone else.
Yeah.
There are some very opinionated, vigilante type people out there that you have to look out for.
He dropped little hints at me that I didn't quite understand where, it was going, like, hey, keep an open mind, or, things like that. And I'm like, okay.
The honeymoon phase. He was courting you.
He started showing me pictures of, the girls with the kids.
Never, not once denied them.
Never. No, right away he showed me pictures. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're beautiful, And it's like, and then it was, I'm married. What did he say? I'm married once, twice, he said.
Once, twice. Were you confused?
I was very confused. Yeah.
You should have seen her face when she first came over.
I was like, so what, are you recruiting, or?
That's what I would have asked too. Are you recruiting?
Yeah. Does everybody know you're here? Is everybody okay with this? Yeah. Those were all my questions and my thoughts.
Yeah, you didn't want to walk in and get beat up or anything, or jumped.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. Not because that would have been my thought was, hold on, homie. Nobody. Yeah. Wow. And you came over and basically fell in love. And
yeah, I mean, I met Angelica first, and I met her, Leanne's kids, before I met her, and that's when we spent the day with her kids. With Leanne.
I feel you, Leanne. I feel you.
See how it's like
here?
Yeah. Yes, I'm very much a bear.
Wow. So, and then it just happens that because you guys all have to love each other to live under one roof.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, so I have one more question, and I'm gonna let Courtney go ahead and do it. So, what if the ladies got bored? Is this a one-sided thing? Can we only bring women home? What if the ladies decided they wanted to bring a lady home, or a man? Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm skipping ahead. Mary, you weren't there. Are you bisexual, or what they would call
Trisexual.
straight or trisexual?
Angelica said trisexual.
Yeah,
Try
I would
anything.
say that in meeting Jermaine and exploring this relationship, I've come to realize that I do have an attraction for women. I would say that my relationship with the girls are more like sisterly because of the bond that we've created. But I would admit that.
Okay, so if Mary, because she said, "Hey, I think they're beautiful. I like women." If Mary went out and she wanted to have a relationship with another woman, would that be okay or no? Is that breaking the rules?
I would say he is perfectly okay with that. Yes,
It's happened.
yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, what if one of the ladies went out and met another man? Is that okay?
That is something that we have discussed.
The door is open.
Yes.
Personally, to me, it's just not something that interests me. I think I probably, me personally, would, because I did have a relationship with a woman in the past who I had to get out of my life because she tried to tell me that I needed to leave Jermaine for her in front of him and everybody at the house.
Oh yeah,
So
I remember
was
that.
like, yeah, no. So like, I probably would like, I would try with a woman before I would with a man, and that's just me personally. And it's maybe it's just because I'm weird, because
You're
like
not
to
weird.
me, like not like I wouldn't be having sex with a woman, but intimacy with the intercourse with the male is different. There's a different type of bond there.
Okay, I can understand that. That doesn't make you weird. And your loyalty lies with Jermaine. That's who you married. That's who you entered a relationship with. So I get that.
I think we all feel the same. I mean, I feel the same. Yes.
So there won't be any other men in the house.
No, I think like with me, I've explored that. Like we've talked about it, and I was really close to it. But I was just worried about another man just being overbearing, you know, worried about, well, she's my girlfriend too, like I should be able, I just didn't, I feel that it depends on what kind of a man you would get, and I worry about what my children would think, and I mean, we've talked about it, but I don't think that, I just worry what a man would feel, and what would he come into this home? Would he think that now he's like the man of the house? Does that make any sense?
Right. No, yeah. Does the energy change?
Right. I mean,
Energy change.
because like, you know, we
But
already
we got a
have
bunch of
this
boys.
and-
They're not gonna let that happen.
right. So and we have
So
different-
I need to ask Jermaine a question that Courtney's not going to ask him. I don't want to be rude or anything, but I asked the ladies, are you bisexual? Would you be open to being with another man?
No, I'm not bisexual.
Okay. I'm just asking.
We have adventures in the room. Let's just leave it at that. But you know, other than that, no, I'm all about the ladies. I respect and love the ladies. And believe me when I tell you, there's plenty of them out there that, you know, these men just don't know how to pursue them and treat them. And
They don't know how to be honest. And I think honesty is the key.
they don't know how to be honest. And this
Yes.
is, you know, I coach a lot. I mean, I need to have a support group going on or something, because I talk to a lot of people about, you know, not necessarily being in this type of relationship, but, you know, just being honest.
Hey, I was joking with Jermaine. I said I need about 5 husbands, and he told me he was going to help me find them.
I can.
he sure will.
Yes, I
He
do
will
know
help.
people.
He will coach you.
Now, I understand, you're new to this and understanding this. You and Courtney don't understand this. There are so many Black families out there. There's groups out there. You know, I don't want to blast their names, but I can turn you on to them. We're small.
There's
We're
more of
small.
Yeah.
There are families.
Yeah.
You know, I have a friend in the Bay. I don't want to blast his name, but him and his wife, they both have partners. She has male partners, counterparts, and they have. And he has female counterparts, and they're all combined as one, you know?
See, this is a whole world that we don't know. All we know is sister wives, and I think there's like escaping polygamy.
And that's the problem. See,
We think everybody lives in Utah. Like,
Chelsea would not give us a reality show, because we're not going to sit there and cry and be on TV like, oh, he did this and oh, he did that. No, we are happy people. We love life. You know, we may not be your Brad Pitt, your Angela Jolie looking old people, you know, but we're normal people. You know,
It's not a religion.
You're attractive people.
You know,
And I think we just have our normal, marital issues, but we're just honest.
we've been doing this for so long. We're going on 2 decades. I can tell you people that haven't survived one.
I mean, I've been here for 19 years. You've been here, what, 24?
Going on
24 years. So, I mean, we've been doing it for a very long time.
6 long years.
Mhm.
Yeah,
6
6 years is a long time.
long years. Yeah. So I was
Okay, Courtney.
in the beginning.
I'm gonna shut up, Courtney, because I know you over there just brewing, and I'm sorry.
Where you at, Courtney?
I like learning and like listening. This is dope. I like listening. But let me ask this though, Angelique, right? Angelica, I'm sorry, Angelica.
We're gonna get it right.
Was you and Jermaine like swingers at first, and that's how y'all brought in the second wife? Or
No, we weren't.
okay,
But for being honest, we did dabble in that a little bit.
okay,
And not to the extent of like participating or like, well, I guess, yeah, participating sexually. Like we had, is it one group or 2 groups? We actually went to a couple of parties, and even Leanne had gone as well. But no, we never like
Played with other people.
We
Yeah,
figured out the
no,
parties. They
no.
cook really good food, and we got to watch porn.
And jump on the
Let me
trampoline.
put it to you
And
this
jump
way:
on
I was the skinny one at all them parties, and I'm not
Yeah.
skinny.
Let me tell you, I went to one party, right?
So you did.
I didn't even know I was there.
Oh wow!
Like, because it looked like a normal, people relationship. Some people, there were a few single people there. I was one of the single people there, but there were people there that I knew. And so I was hanging out, eating, we was talking. Yeah, people went in rooms, but I missed all of it until the end of the night. Nobody approached me. Nobody was rude. Nobody said anything. Something went down on the couch.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, they comfortable?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how they were.
That's how they
I
are.
would say probably the most exposed one that we went to was like a Halloween.
Yeah.
And as you can use your imagination, was it yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't until then, and then somebody whispered in my ear, and I was like, is you for real?
I've been here the whole time.
And I missed, like, I would have been way more observant.
That's what we did. We used to go watch and eat. We sitting there eating crackers like, oh, he's fucking work. Look at this cat over here. Uh-huh. But
I missed that.
yeah, it wasn't our forte to jump in and, slanging saliva and semen.
So, a lot of people don't realize that it's not what you would think. Because I would have thought that when I walked in, people were trying to grab me and snatch at me, and it wasn't like that.
That's the thing. That's the reason why we went. It's a respect factor. Yes, you go into a swinger party, but there's a respect factor. There's rules, and there's actually enforcers in most cases. And those enforcers will pick you up and put you out of the house. I happen to be one of the enforcers. But wasn't nobody gonna touch none of the women I came with. And that's why we used to take people with us all the time. And some of the girls that I've taken that we call friends, yeah, they jumped in.
Well,
I must have just been like, oh, is she young? Is she dumb? She don't even know what's going on. Because
somebody's mama was over there with us. Somebody's
well,
grandma.
yeah. And so when we went to these, it was like, that is somebody's grandma. Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, can you even, did you take Viagra before you came here?
Hold on. They was like, man, I missed this my whole high school and college years. I'm getting it now.
Yeah.
For real.
It was like.
For real. But we ain't judging. They was getting their stick on. And hey, you know what? To each his own. But that's not,
But again, it's you don't know that you're there, because again, it's food and, a lot of conversation. You speak to a lot of intellectual people who have great conversation with.
Yeah.
And some people go for that. They don't always go to be intimate with somebody and to have that intercourse.
Yeah.
Some
just
people
go to
just
be social.
go to
And
because
we've
they
gone
made friends.
many times and just sat by the pool and talked.
Mhm.
Talked. And
literally did not know I was there. Like, I missed it. Courtney, have you ever been?
Sorta, kinda.
Sort of, kinda.
Sorta,
What
kinda.
sort of kind of Courtney?
I was at a video shoot, and the video shoot we were shooting at is a swingers club, and we ran late, and the swingers started coming in while we were trying to wrap up. So I met some nice people.
So by default, but you didn't stay and hang out?
This interview is not about me, Cherie. Let's stick with that.
Right?
I'm sorry. Courtney, go ahead.
Hey, Jermaine, what do you do for a living?
I'm a business owner. I own multiple businesses, and I worked for the fire department for many years. And one day I woke up and said, I'm done with that. I got tired of answering the call, putting my life on the line, and it was causing stress at home. It was really causing stress at home. So one day I woke up and they said, bring your ass home now. And here I am. And so we put our heads together and we became an entity. We created a couple of businesses, and here we are.
Dope.
A couple businesses. You said like your wives have jobs. So are they running the businesses?
So they all work in their own industries. This one's real estate. This one's Department of Education, and this one is government in a sense. I don't want to that one. You got to be careful. But
Okay.
and then we all four own a couple of businesses. So I own a general services business, and then I have a couple other entities that I do business with, and we stay pretty active. And we actually just increased, so we're in the process of doing some hiring because we're essential. So yeah.
So do you want to put that information out there now or no?
We can. We have a steam cleaning business, and we keep the restaurants in business. So basically, when the summertime, when all that grease in the restaurants start coming down, it's a dirty job, but you know what? It's a job. It pays. It keeps you going, puts food on the table.
It pays well. I used to own a restaurant.
There you go.
So if you guys come in and you do the whole degreasing and then you empty those, that's big business.
Yeah, so we do that, and I have a partner out of Fresno, California, and he just came and powwowed with us this last Sunday, and he shared with me that he's growing, and he's been in the business over 30 years, and his dad was in the business before him, and his dad built him a legacy, and he came and partnered up with me, and he was like, man, I love your team. You got a beautiful team, so we went and did some work with him, and he was impressed. When I showed up, he thought I was showing up by myself, and I said, no, I showed up with my team. When I showed up and we got the work done in like 4 hours, he was like, okay. This is my new squad. And so we made it pack, and we're doing some big business now.
So what areas do you guys work in? What areas will you be hiring in, and how do people find you if they're looking for a job?
Right now we're going to do Central California, but in talks with him, we're probably going to span all throughout California. There's that much work. So
well, mostly northern.
Mostly northern, but he's gonna hit northern from where he's at. We're gonna meet in the middle and do everything in the middle, and then I'm gonna hit southern. So I'm gonna be looking to get a couple trucks going, probably a good 5 or 10, and I want them to stop having to do so they can focus on other things. We have a lot of things in mind, and
a couple is not 5 to 10. He's doing big things, y'all. If y'all need a job, how do they find you guys?
We are on Instagram. JR Steam Cleaning Services is our Instagram, and you can drop that in there if you want to on the page, and if they want to follow our family, we're our Poly Fam on Instagram. OURPOLYFAM.
I'm sorry.
If you guys let's just say you have to go to the PTA meeting, and first of all, do your kids go to the same school?
So yes, they all went to the same school. Their elementary school, they knew who we were. We don't really hide. We never had a problem. When one mom went to go deal with a situation, she dealt with all the situations. If one other mom had to come, it was bad. We was going to deal with it together. And if dad ever showed up, they was like, oh yeah, you in trouble now. If we got to call your daddy, it's bad. So yes, they knew who we were. Full respect. Never asked no questions. Gave us love, showed us love, showed the kids love, and still to this day do. The only one that had some troubles with it in the beginning was our daughter. The girls didn't understand and this and that. And our daughter didn't understand, so we had to, teach her, coming up, hey, this may not be everybody's life, but this is our decision, and she then learned the reason kind of why we were doing this, as one of her parents were going through a hard breakup, and it was affecting her friend and my daughter.
Well, yeah, it was a combination of everything. Well, when we first, I would say in third grade, our daughter, we lived in a snootier neighborhood. I don't know what the nicest way to say it, but
uppity,
snootier. Our children were, well, at that time, we really just had two. They felt not like they didn't fit in the neighborhood. And so luckily we only lived in that area for 1 year. So, but when we moved to this side of town where we're at now, people did kind of ask her questions. She was overdeveloped for her age in a lot of areas. And so we had a lot of bullying that was going on. We had to get the police involved in everything. She sometimes felt like it was because, yes, her mom and dad were divorced. Her friends' parents were divorcing, and I don't have my mom and dad together, and you have two moms and one dad, and now they're, So it started to become a lot of bullying. We had the crazy mom sitting on the corner in her car waiting for our kids to cross the street. So she had a hard time with it because she's like, if we had a normal family, then this wouldn't be happening. And then, the older that she got, when she was in high school, her friends were like, man, you need to tell your daddy to show me how I can be a pimp like him. So, and so the older that they got, it was like, well, we were not any different. We aren't any different than any other, except for we have the added support of additional parents who, if you can't do it, then I'm going to do it. Or, if she is like Leanne, before getting into the current position that she was in, sometimes she just wasn't available by phone. I've always been available by phone. So the schools know us well enough to say, hey, well, she's not available. I'm going to call Angelica and we're going to take care of it. When they moved to South Carolina for about a year. Almost.
Wait, who moved to South Carolina?
Well, initially Jermaine did, and then Leanne followed. So it was just Mary Cruz and I with all the kids for a while.
Yeah.
So during that time, it was like they knew she wasn't there, so they called me. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we flew the kids out. Jermaine came home, got the kids, and we took them over there. So then it was us with our 4 boys. Mm-hmm.
Wow. And you guys were home together.
Mm-hmm.
Making it work.
Yeah. Holding the down here while we were doing what we had to do over there to,
Hey Jermaine, let's can I ask you a question, man to man now? I just gotta ask you a question. So when it's time to when you want to have sex, right? Do you just say, all right, the 3 of us Friday night, 7 p.m. meet me in my room?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you say you dress like this, you dress like this, you dress like that, or?
I'll say surprise me. And when I say that, they know it's going down. If we go out of town, and I try to set that up for when we go out of town. I usually set that up for when we going out of town. I make plans to go out of town, and I say that because we can get a room, we can do what we want. We try not to smash like that with all the kids in the house because
it gets too loud.
There's a marathon in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Lion King over here doing his thing, and all these lionesses laying around trying to catch wind. I don't want to. My boys are getting older. They're turning into men. So they know about daddy. They know about the life. They have the options that they have in life, and they know that. But I'm not trying to throw everything in their face. I do have respect for them. You know what I mean? They don't They don't see mom. They don't want to hear mom and dad knocking walls down. So
No, with none of the mom. No.
no.
Aside from that, they're all at ages where they're curious. We're like, hey, I don't want to be a grandma right now.
No,
like
they won't play with
I don't
me.
want to.
They
so
won't
it's
test me.
like I have to hear our 17-year-old say, Mom, I think I heard our 15-year-old blah blah blah, and I'm like, okay, just as long as you wash your hands.
Now, let me tell you, Courtney, I don't know if you saw it, but I got a glimpse of family dinner. And honestly, I grew up with 8 boys, okay? They're not all my mother's children, but my mom loves all her sons equally and me. I think sometimes she likes them more than she likes me. But it looked like a normal family dinner.
Yep.
Like everybody sitting down, eating, talking.
I would just like to add, because those are important to us. So I see all these Facebook posts, Instagram posts, like, we should bring back this dinner, Sunday night dinners. And I'm like, the thing is like, we've been doing that from the beginning.
Oh.
Like, we sit down for every meal, like, I shouldn't say every meal, but like on the weekends, sit down together for breakfast. One of us is making breakfast. And lunch, just depending on what the day is doing, we don't really, but like for dinner, we sit down together every night for dinner. And, it's like the most important thing, because it's like we have our children's friends come over that say, y'all sit down together?
Yeah. There was no iPads. There were no cell phones. It was family. They were talking. They were joking. They were laughing. It was really nice to see.
And that's an everyday thing, because I know some people say, well, you only do that. No, that's every day. Like every day.
That's our time to reset as a family.
Right.
Sitting at the table, I sit at the head, of course. My other son sits at the head. He's next in command when it comes to the men. And, that's our chance to sit down and talk and to understand, each other and how each other's day went. And it's not always smooth.
No.
Some of us have headaches. Some of us dealt with some stuff. Some of us had long days. Some of us don't even talk to me right now. I'll fight you.
But it was totally cute, and it looked normal, like Mary Cruz. I think my daughter might be kind of around your daughter's age.
Probably 2.
And I saw, she's 2? Yeah. She's tall.
She's almost 3, actually.
She's 2.5.
She'll be 3 next month.
She's gorgeous, and she's tall, but I saw she did something that my daughter does to me all the time. I'm trying to eat, and she just kind of eased up on your lap. And you just kind of adjusted her.
Yeah, she travels from lap to lap.
And you were like, here. And then you just kept eating. And I was like, oh, that looks like my house.
Right.
I mean, more people, but that looks like.
Man, people try to name us as, oh, you guys are terrible, this and that. We recently had an experience where we did one of those, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm old school. So we did a TikTok challenge, upgrade challenge, with a couple other polyamorous families. Cherie, I just tagged you in it. So if you want to see it, go ahead.
I'm going like this because Courtney tried to get me to do it. And I'm like, nah, dude, I'm not.
So we did it with
to comb my hair.
Be careful. So we did it with a couple other polyamorous families throughout the United States. One family in Atlanta and a couple other different states. And we did ours last. We were last on the video, and it went viral. I woke up the next 2 days later. My nephew said, "Your ass done hit 200,000 likes or views," and I'm like, "What? Where?" And it's 3:00 in the morning. He said, "Man, you all over the place." He said, "Brace yourself. They talking mad shit." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I said, "I love people that talk shit." So I clicked on it. I'm sitting here laughing. People was dragging us in the dirt. I'm like, "Oh wow. I guess love has to have a face nowadays. I guess everybody's looking for something, out of a damn swimsuit magazine to call love, or whatever."
Yeah. They said things like we were probably paid to do it.
Yeah. It's quarantine.
These women have really low self-esteem.
I got these ladies off of Craigslist, and I'm
like,
yeah.
If it makes you feel any better, read some of my comments. They talk about me too, really, really bad.
Oh no!
Yeah. Oh no!
Hey,
but we really know what goes on.
Hey,
I mean,
these people. You know what? They try to drag me, you, and anyone else. I love them. They need love, and they need to understand this is the reason why we do this. Our kids are loved. I don't care what you say. Our kids are loved. They got a home. They got food. They got transportation.
A lot of food. I saw those meals.
Man, we get busy. They got
And the
digital
bill?
technology. They got college educations coming. You know, these 4 incomes plus our business that we put together, that shit adds up. Go ahead and do the math on it. Just round us all off at $2,000 a month, just for sake.
And most importantly, Craigslist got shut down like 3 years ago. So for them to say that.
It ain't happening, right?
So, you know, people, you know, they try to drag us, but you know what? I love everybody. You know, hate all you want to. You make me famous. Keep talking.
Right, literally.
Yeah. I mean, we're just normal people. Like, I love my job. Like, it's amazing what I do. So, you know, I mean, we're just normal people who have goals. You know, I'm going back to school to be a psychiatrist for special needs kids.
Oh.
So, like, I'm planning to get my PhD. Like, that's my goal. Why? Because it's just because I love my kids. I love all the kids that I come in contact with. You know, it's just, we have a special needs son, you know, and I help parents advocate for their special needs kids. So, you know,
That's beautiful. I'm a homeschool mom, so you got my heart, because anything that has to do.
We are too. We are now too. And it is tough. Don't get me wrong, it's tough, but we are normal people who are just, we have feelings. We do the normal thing. We have kids that, you know, they go to public school.
I didn't read
We don't
any of the
base
comments.
this off of sex.
Smart.
I didn't read any of the comments because, you know, back in, I want to say, was it 2007-ish? Or I don't remember what year it was. We went on a talk show, and they flew us out to New York. Was amazing. Need another one of those trips, but anyways,
we need an updated trip because she wasn't here yet.
A whole lot of, you know, when it came out, a lot of those mean comments. I think I spent I was sitting there.
But I think those comments
are heck. Yeah. And so it was you know, I was really upset. I was devastated. I've always had, I've never, you know, I've got 2 sisters and I've always been the fluffy one. So,
and that's okay.
I mean, you know, I've got a 3rd-degree burn scars on my face. So I've always been really self-conscious, you know, well, not
beautiful.
Thank you. But so to me, when those comments first came out, I was like, man, I was crying and I was like, I never want to do one of these things again. And then, so when it came out, I was sitting here and Mary Cruz was sitting on the couch and she's reading them, and you know, and I'm like, I haven't even looked at it. I didn't even look. I am probably worse when it comes to social media, though.
Right. I am too, because I'm the one that will read the comments and you'll go on there like, Cherie is telling people off.
Hey, I love you. Hey, listen.
Can I follow you on Twitter?
First of all, let's get this out in the air, okay? I've been in love with you since day one, okay? We
Thank you.
We the same shoes, do I not?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So when he first told us that he had spoken to you, he goes, oh my God, guess what? Guess what?
About to have an anxiety attack.
And I'm like, do you remember? Yeah, remember Bucky Brewster? And I'm like,
favorite show.
He's like, just message me, and I'm like, okay.
I was on one. I was like, oh my God, I love that girl.
So he's like, don't talk about me. I don't say that when, okay, so true story. I went by myself. I love Bobby Bones. At Bobby Bones on that comment there. And I went down to, Crystal Palace. It's country music. Big thing in country music. And I went down there by myself, and they were in South Carolina, and he had a comedy show there, and I got the last ticket. You don't want to know how I hunted it down, but I got the last ticket. He's like, well, I didn't make fun of you when you did all that. And I was like, oh no, I'm just to see him geek out like he did was, you know.
That is it, ladies.
You, baby.
Thank you. Ladies, let me confess. Okay, so I was writing when you guys sent the message back saying that you would do the show. I was so excited, and I was like, can you text me that? And then I said, wait a minute, I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't want them to think that I was trying to give their husband my phone number. I didn't know if it was one of you ladies. I didn't know if it was him. I said, okay, well, can you email me that? And then I was like, wait a minute. Are they going to try to fight? You saw that? I was like, I don't want them trying to fight me. I just want the video. And I was like, damn, do I have Courtney interject? But most of the time, when I say Courtney, they don't know if he's a man or a woman by the name. And I was like,
you're right.
What do I do? And then somebody wrote me back, and I realized I was talking to more than one person. I don't want to be in trouble.
No, all of us are on our Instagram, and that's a big misconception. We're all on that account. So every message that come in,
We all get it.
we all get it. And believe me, we have women dropping in the inbox right now from Chicago to Michigan to Beijing. Oh my gosh, I love you guys. Do you guys need room for one more? Can you handle more baggage? I have a couple kids. I'm ready to leave my husband. Okay.
Wow.
Let me ask you this though, Jermaine. I know someone who's African, and he has like 4 or 5 wives and stuff like that too. Now, is there like a ranking? Is it seniority in y'all house? Like everybody knows that Angelica is number 1, or like does the Angelica?
Go ahead. Everyone knows on the outside, everyone sees it as Angelica's the head bitch in charge, and I'm just gonna say it how it is. However, in the house, we don't have a ranking system. They're all the same. They all have a voice. They all have the same personality, different personalities, but same attitude. So we don't. I don't put a rank and file. And I don't celebrate one more than I celebrate the other. I equally divide my love. Which is fair enough for them because they're not being left out. And it's, as long as we have communication, and that's what works out. But on the outside, oh yeah, everyone sees Angelica as number 1, Leanne number 2, but they see Leanne as the one not to mess with. And Angelica's like, oh, she's such a sweetheart, but Leanne would be like, I ain't falling for your shit.
I would be more scared of the one who works for the government.
Because she don't say shit.
Does it, right? She's quiet. It's like, well, and they do most of the talking. I'm very new at this. I've never been on an
Come into the camera, government. There you go.
Now she's government. Yeah, I've never, done an interview like this before. Obviously, they were on television already. They're used to this kind of exposure. Yeah, so. And I let them do all the talking, and I don't like to interrupt or be rude. So.
And the thing is that funny thing is that I don't remember. Somebody said to us, I don't know who it was, but so anytime we take a picture, so we were at Disneyland 6 months ago, and it just so happened that we all went to Disneyland, and Jermaine's baby mama went with us, and because you're raising your hand.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
That's on the play. Time out, baby mama.
That's a whole other podcast.
I'm not gonna be rude or anything, but
there's more.
Yeah, there's more.
Yes. So, in just a nutshell, unfortunately, and what we're trying to teach our boys is different. Unfortunately, Jermaine did not have the full parental backing that he probably should, so he became a father at a young age.
Okay.
So that's kind of how that, just in a nutshell, kind of happened. So
before you had a wife.
Correct.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, no problem.
So we all went to Disneyland, and so somebody said, "Oh, is that a new one?" Like, so anytime there's a picture outside of us, and then even like, actually I can't remember who it was. We had taken a picture, the 3 of us plus one other person, 10 years ago, at least 10 years ago. And that person called Jermaine, and I can't remember who it was for life. And he said, "Hey, what about that one white girl? The other white girl with the short hair, whatever happened to her?" And
well, get ready because I'm gonna meet y'all. We're gonna get a picture together.
I just started following you, by the way.
Thank you. When Plunkett comes back, I would love for you guys to bring the kids and come visit this, and I'd love to meet you.
You ain't said nothing. We already finna pack the van and drive out.
And
we are. We are.
I was gonna comment, and I think this is really important. Especially with us women, this is very important. When you put somebody as 1, 2, and 3, there will be emotional issues between women.
Right.
That's jealousy. That's right. But we don't do that. We try to uplift each other and we try to be there for each other. No, we don't always see eye to eye. Yes, our kids try to play all of us, but But I think it's like, I'm just going to be really honest. Like, it's really good for us to, have that bond. Yes, I have friends on the outside that, know of our situation, that do ask questions. But, what's really important to me too is that, like, Angelica has been there from day one for all of my children. I've gone through miscarriage. My son almost died. She was the first person to, like, hug me and kiss me and tell me it's okay when his helicopter flew away and we didn't know if he was going to make it on the way there, right? And then, I was pregnant with twins, lost a twin. So, Angelica's always been there for me. And, honestly, like, I love my parents to death, but she's there for me differently. Like, she's always held my hand. Jermaine, I think you need to take her to hospital, this, that, she's been able to talk to Jermaine as a woman's perspective. Like, and I've been through a lot, I've had a lot, but Holden, our youngest one, is autistic and he has something called Klinefelter syndrome. Honestly, Angelica would know exactly what to do if she went to the doctor. I mean, had to go to the school and take care of him if I couldn't do it. Like, she would be able to go to every meeting. She'd be able to do this. She'd be able to do that. And honestly, more than what Jermaine could do. And that's not being mean, because a lot of fathers have a little different for fathers to go to the school and sit in a meeting. Not he'll go and beat somebody up, but for me, she knows the process. This is what I do for a living. I help kids get services in schools. I teach the parents disability laws. I teach parents to advocate for their children. But I think, like, in this position, it's great because she's been there from day one and she would exactly know. She knows their medical needs. She knows what to look out for. And for me to, like, even just, it means a lot. So we don't look at 1, 2, and 3. We just hear, we support each other. The other day, she said I looked like a clown with my makeup on. I went back and finished it. Jermaine would have let me walk around and still look like a clown. Because,
well, wait a second. Like, I just said, your blush is really bright. Yeah. And she said, oh, I was trying to look like a chola. And I go, well, you look like a clown.
Well, Jermaine wouldn't have told me the truth. She gave me the women's perspective. My lights had gone out in my room, so I only had half the light, and I wanted to look good when I walked out of a training.
Real quick. So on that topic, everything she's explaining is exactly why I do this, because I think life isn't guaranteed for none of us, and it's hard being a woman or a man. And the worries we have on this earth, the struggles we have as humans, we can lose our life at any moment in time in this life. Right. These two moms can back up everything this woman knows. These two moms can do everything for her. These two moms can do everything for her, vice versa.
So
same with me.
I just want to, like, go back. It's the same topic, but our youngest, he's 15. So a few months ago, he made a comment. My mother has been disabled since I was 15. So I took care of a 12-year-old and a 41-year-old mother who was disabled. And so our 15-year-old had said, it makes sense. If grandpa would have done this, then mom would have always had somebody to help her. Oh. So because to this day, like she says, yes, I mean, a lot of times, I'm the middle child. So my older sister and my younger sister, up until probably about eight years ago, I continued to do full-on care for my mother until my sister got her life right. And Leanne was always there for me. And even like, Mary Chris came in the picture. I mean, my mom, she's in a wheelchair and we have to pick her, put her in the bath and bathe her. And, they've both been there for me to do that.
I watched you too fix the microphone together. And it happened so natural. It was like, here, baby, let me help you. So being observant from the outside in, Leanne said, well, she's always been there for my kids. I think those might be your kids, but those are her babies.
Right, exactly. And they're
Yeah.
the same because I've been around since Hanae was 14 months old, and I've done nothing but care for her. I taught her her ABCs. We did the potty training. Like, she was my buddy. Like, she went to the doctor's appointments with me, everything. But, you know,
That's why it
it's
works.
different when everybody
That's love.
does it, right? I know, you know, their first son has a lot of anxiety, you know, and I went to go get his permit test, and something happened, so they couldn't do it that day, and I'm glad because it was crazy in there. But he had anxiety so bad, and he's like, Leanne, like, you need to talk to them. You know me, like, I can't talk to the. He was so nervous and so much anxiety. He's like, Leanne, talk to them. Please tell her. And he would not. Can you just tell her, like, you know my social security number, you know what I mean? But he knows that I know his anxiety. Like, I mean, it's just kind of like what we built. And anybody who would come from the outside and we would expect to help with us, like, they just don't know our kids the way that we do. I mean, our kids will always have caregivers because we know that something's going to happen to somebody. I mean, we all know that's life. But I can honestly say, even just living, if I just laid on my deathbed, I would know that my kids would be taken care of. My boys would be guided in the right direction. She would have college, the military. The thing is like, we don't do this for sex. We don't do this for like attention. It's not what it's about. It's family. It's just bigger than the usual family. And we have our normal fights. We take turns. We make menus. Everybody cooks a night. You know, we teach our boys to cook. It's just, it's that's the main thing. It's not about sex. We weren't paid to do this because, honey, if I was paid to do this,
if Cherie's World had to pay y'all, y'all have got $5, $10, $15, $20. So
it'd be a little bit different. My stomach would be flat again.
Well,
but it's not like that.
Jermaine did I guess a rant after the video came out. He did some Instagram video like rant, and you know his
kind of cutting out again.
Is that better?
Yeah.
So much better.
Yeah.
So he did some Instagram, like he just kind of ranted and everything, and like his friends said, like his friends come over, and you know, like he said, you're a well-oiled machine. So you know, we just don't skip a beat. I mean, just because there are this many of us, it doesn't make us any different.
Yeah, there's just more eyes, more ears, more memory because I have a foggy brain. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot more, like she said. I mean, it's just more hands-on.
It's definitely about the support,
right?
The support that you get with the added help and stuff. So it's like yesterday I left to work to take our son to work, and you know, I knew that everybody here was, you know, taken care of with breakfast and everything else, and because they know that they need to get up and again, we're at home school teachers now as well. So
I'm sorry guys, they can talk.